Hey guys, we're just finishing up on Facebook with the podcast. So that's just finishing up. So I figured I would start over here too and greet y'all that are over here. Let me just let them know that we are here. And getting the room ready. Okay, so yeah, that's almost done. So hopefully, I know that you guys probably haven't had a chance to head to see that yet. It's totally cool. Um, but I wanted to be sure to let you know that that's what's going on. How is everybody? You know what? It's been a month of darn Sundays since I have been. Well, no, it hasn't. Well, yeah, for this it has actually. Let me let them know we're live on Twitter. On the Twitters, let them know we're live on the Twitterverse. Live now. Tweet. Okay. Child, it's been a while since I have been, around for a Sunday Soul podcast. So I'm actually pretty excited. Let me let them know on the Instagrams that we're live over here now. Oh, this is annoying. Like, I wish it was an easy way to like let Instagram know that we were live on YouTube. I wish, well, not that I wish, I know that what I'll be able to do. Butterfly Secrets Girl, how are you? I swear, I'm like, I've got to text her and check in on her. I literally did the like secret, like in the ethers check to make sure. I'm like, can I pick up her energetic footprint? Like, can I pick up her energy? Okay, good. Okay, we're good. But any Husenheimer, yeah, I don't know how much longer I got. I was going strong. Let me tell you something. I was not sure. Are you serious? You moved? Oh my gosh, we have so much to talk about. I'm going to text you, make sure you have my link to set up a call. We've got to talk. We've got to talk. My God, today. What's going on, Christina? Hey, Purple Lover. Purple rain. Purple rain. Play me some Prince a little bit later on. This topic of patriarchy really hit me big time. And I can't even tell you why. Let me do this. Let me just put this as a post. I wish I could tell you why, but I guess it was just meant for me to discuss it today. I guess so. There's been a lot of things that have been going on, and I'm not ignoring you guys. I am literally making sure that people know that we're live now. That's all I'm doing. Live after show. Select. Oh my gosh, I hate when I have things on. Okay. In watching the Amber Heard trial, I will say that in watching, just some other stuff happening in the world, in watching the conflict it overseas, and watching what's happening. Okay, good. Okay, good. All right, excellent, excellent. Okay, so everyone should be coming over here now from the welcome to the podcasters. Welcome to the podcasters. Those who are watching the podcast over there. Thanks, sweetie. It's always good to see you. Oh, yeah, we got to talk, girl. We have got to talk, hunty. Thank you, girl. Talk. I appreciate it. Oh, your daughter's 10th birthday on DoorDash and Uber. Okay, all right. Hey, Debbie. Oh, hey, Jace. Hey, Debbie. Um, Let me give you my welcome. I just started talking, y'all, and I didn't welcome everybody. I'm welcoming, hey, how you doing? How your family doing? How your mama and them doing? How's it going? What's happening, Captain? How's it happening? Welcome to the channel. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. I want to always thank you guys for your support. And again, I don't know what direction this video is going to take. So this live, because you never know with us in the live streams, darlings. Everything stated in this video is opinion, interpretation, and it is conjecture. Only factual statements are those of the panelists and our personal experiences. So I'll be dropping the link shortly. I want to just kind of briefly, for those of you that didn't get a chance yet to see the podcast, once we're done here, it's about a half hour or so, 35 minutes. So go over there and take a peek at it over here on the tubes. Or you can listen to it on your favorite podcasting platform: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Spreaker, and many, many others. Now, this dropped in my spirit earlier today as I was just kind of, when you go away for a week, and I purposely suspended time and space and just enjoyed myself and really tried not to pay too much attention to the shenanigans and the tomfoolery of life, the tomfoolery of it all. And I've been back a week now. So I said, well, it's time. Yeah, listen, your mama and them, tell all of them that we here, because they need to. Some of my mamas need to hear about this too. It bothered me, this morning as I'm just kind of like in meditation, and we just had the new moon yesterday, the full new moon, the full solar eclipse, and I thought, let's talk about this patriarchy, these patriarchy shenanigans. Venus is about to enter into Aries. So to me, that's saying that there is right now amongst those of us that are attuned, and paying attention, there's a significant rise, should be, of empowerment of our divine feminine energy and nature. The other thing, though, I think that we really must be paying attention to is the significant fight back of the patriarchy and the rise of toxic femininity, which we're going to talk about next week. No, I might drop a special session this week, because I do want to take next week and I want to highlight some of the mamas in our discussions. And so be on the lookout on the community page. And if you do get the newsletter, I'm going to put a special section in there. You're going to have to act quick, because I'm going to invite some people up, and I want us to talk on Mother's Day just briefly. I want to honor y'all. I want to honor us and celebrate us, whether you're a spiritual mama, physical mama, or both, grandmother, auntie mother, godmother. I want to honor us, but we're going to talk about toxic femininity. We're going to talk about all these things. So today I wanted to kick it off about ending patriarchy. Hey, Red Violet, how are you? You've been so sleepy. I have been too. Let me tell you something. I got up. I was like, oh, let me just get a lot of stuff done. I laid around in bed. I chilled out with the grandkids and the family. Baby, No. I went back to bed for a little while. I really didn't get going till this afternoon, mid-afternoon, but that's fine. Um, but so there's this kind of uptick in toxic femininity, uptick in this patriarchal garbajola, uptick in just this fight against the creative and our creative nature and our us being a creatrix and Venetian power, magic, feminine power, magic, if you will, divine femininity, if you will. And so I was like, you know what, let's talk about this patriarchy nonsense today. And then we're going to talk about everything else. Okay. So if you've been exhausted, I'm going to tell you something. This is kind of, wow. This is channeling. This is just coming to me. I've been tired the last couple of days. Like you're tired. Y'all know, those of you that have had children, y'all know that end of that end of the stretch. You know, they say it takes 9 months to make a baby or to have a baby. They shortchange us because our due date is not until the beginning of month 10. I'm not gonna be shortchanged any damn longer. And I say this all the time. It's not 9, it's 10. Because our due date isn't until the 10th month. And then back in the day, they used to let you go 2 weeks late. So you were 10 and a half months pregnant. Not 9 and a half, 10 and a half. Now, give me my flowers and give me all that time. Okay, give me my time. I'm not sure. Y'all not finna shortchange me. Y'all not finna shortchange me. Anyway, so I guess you could say 9.5 months, but just the beginning of 10th month. So I'm gonna take mine. They take theirs, I'm gonna take mine, baby. So y'all know at the end of that period of time, right before you're about to give birth, you are so exhausted. You have been caring, nurturing, loving, protecting, energetically and physically feeding another human life this whole entire time. And still doing housework, going to work, a lot of us, having relations with our man. Let's be real. Like, we're still doing all the things that we were doing before we were with child. You're tired because you have been depleted with no respite for a long time. I feel like, yeah, I'm starting again like it's the first time. Um, we are in that stage in our spiritual, creative, our creatrix, what have you, place. Like, this portal that we entered into and we stepped through at the new moon. Because if you downloaded my information that I sent out for the grid, if you watched the new moon, God dang it, the new moon readings, if you saw anything on Instagram, which if you haven't gone to and followed me on Instagram, please do. Where is it? If you go, there is, well, this link here. There's a link in the description, this link tree, right? Link here. I'll put it in the captions here. If you have not gone there yet, please go there and sign up for the newsletter. Copy. And also sign up go follow me on Instagram as well for sure. I did a series of 60-second videos there. And the videos that I did, I might even be able to share them here if I can find them. This new moon was not for manifestation, but more for integration and ascension, acceleration, elevation. It wasn't really for manifestation, and this is why. Because this is an I have moment. This in Taurus. Taurus is the I have house. I'm going to be recording some more astrology basics. We're going to we're going to drop a whole playlist midweek this week, if not at the end of the week. Taurus is the I have. Taurus rules the second house. It is the house of I have, I possess. Not I'm going to have in the future, but I have in the present. So what do you have right now? I'm going to suggest, and I suggested at this new moon, that this is for integration of energy you already have, that you have already known is here. It was rolling around up here, or you kept it outside of you. And the meditation that we did was for integration of existing energies. And it was for the release of energies that we no longer need. And because that's a continual thing. But this was the kind of a major, what do I fear? How am I self-sabotaging? All these things. This was a major release of that energy and a major integration of energies that's already been swirling around us, that our higher self has been wanting to integrate into our physical body. Why? So that we can then give birth to that which we've been hanging on to. So that we can give birth to that which we've been nurturing, to that which has been gestating, to that which we have been carrying within us throughout quite a long time now. We're overdue, if you want to know the truth of the matter. So when I said to myself, should we be ending the patriarchy? As I was coming into this today, we have to recognize what the patriarchy really is, what that energy really is. So we're tired right now, beloveds, because you know what? We overdue, we past due. And what we have within us is the manifestation, the presence of our purpose, of our power, of our potential, our promise that we made to ourselves before we came here to this earth. That's what we possess within us. That's what we have within us. But some of us hadn't quite integrated all of the energy we needed, the knowledge, the what have you, to finish off the creation, or to finish off the belief that we could actually live in this creation, that this was really our reality. We're birthing our reality. And so this wasn't about whether or not you were going to manifest it. This is about whether or not you're going to integrate it and finally walk through that door. Because at the full moon, then all the rest of whatever secrets and BS that's been hanging around you is going to be revealed. It is a they usually call it a pink moon because it's in May. And this is a blood moon. This is a blood moon. What sacrifices have you thus far made? What are you willing to release? What are you going to stop being a martyr about? And I'm giving you a heads up. What are you going to stop being a martyr about? What blood's going to be shed here? And it's not necessarily you're making a sacrifice and there's blood shed that you need to do some sacrifice. You need to stop being a goddamn martyr. And also, it might get a little hairy because there's some people that you're going to have to move out your way. And there are some soapboxes and that you are going to have to stand on. And there are some stages you're going to have to step up on and step into. Hmm? Maybe I need to say that again. There are some stages that you're going to have to step up on so you can speak your speech. There are some soapboxes you're going to have to step onto so you can speak your speech. There are some doors you're going to have to step through in order to get where you got to go. There's some things you're going to have to release. And let me tell you something, there's some people you're going to have to shut the door on, and they're not going to like it because they've been used to doing what? Allowing you to be their wet nurse this whole entire time. And you've been carrying them on your back. Now, what the hell does this have to do with patriarchy? This is what this has to do with patriarchy. My position is that patriarchy is, what did we say that it was, beloveds? If you watched this, if you didn't, I'm going to show this to you now. Patriarchy is a social organization marked by the supremacy of the father in the clan or family, the legal dependence of wives and children, and the reckoning of descent and inheritance in the male line. There should be space there. Or more broadly, the controlled by men of a disproportionately large share of power. That doesn't sound like balance to me. That sounds like someone else has possessed a disproportionately large share of power, and we're out of balance due to a patriarchal society and organization thereof. It is my stance that that is not the way that it was originally set up. It was originally set up, and by originally, I'm talking pre-Adamic or pre-Bible, Genesis 1, whatever verse Adam was created in. That world was balanced. It's out of whack and out of balance. And I think if I really want to even go further with that, we could talk about the whole tree situations. That's where it went out of whack and out of balance. Because the man didn't take his accountability and responsibility for what had happened and then there was some choice that was made. Just all of a sudden now you just gonna run things. No. We're not doing that anymore. We have to get into balance. This is the new age. We have to get back into balance. The reason why the men don't want to release that is because they don't know what the world looks like in balance, where you actually have to honor, love, and respect the woman, where you have to recognize the divine feminine and the power therein and what we do and what we bring to the table. Because you've been so accustomed to, because I'm physically stronger than you, because I'm physically stronger than you, because my thought pattern is not based on emotional intelligence. I don't honor that. I only honor logic and tunnel vision, and this is the way. And because somebody somewhere decided, oh, well, you know what? King means I rule. And somebody somewhere, and I hate to say it, but it's primarily from non-melanated folk, decided that the man being the more powerful one in physicality, that meant then that they should be the more powerful one overall. And everybody else must fall in line. Supremacy is a very deep word. Supremacy basically is a word of total power being handed over or taken by another person and entity, and that entity then has supreme power and authority over another person or group of people. I'm no longer willing to sit by actively and allow men or the patriarchy, that energy of patriarchy, to be supreme. Because guess what? You're not. You're not supreme. You don't rule me. You don't technically rule the kids. Your role as protector, hunter, gatherer is one portion, one half, one portion of the equation. The other portion of that equation is the nurturing, emotional intelligence, spiritual understanding, morality, all of those things that comprise a individual in totality. You understand what I'm saying? So no longer, thank you, KL. Welcome to the party. It is negative for both men and women, but men don't see, because most men are not taught to be in tune with their feminine side. They're only taught to be in tune with the masculine. That's when it becomes toxic. That's when it becomes overboard. Okay? And because what society on the whole has been run religiously, and from a religious standpoint, and I don't care if people are not want to say, oh well, we're not this and we're not that, we're not Christian this. Let me tell you something. This is set up as in a Christian situation, in a Christian mold. And by that mean, and Pauline Christianity at that. When you get done here, I want you all to watch the podcast, because in the podcast, I brought up, it was just dropped in my soul, dropped in my spirit. Okay. We follow Pauline Christianity. He wasn't married. He sounded like, pardon my French, kind of a dick, to be honest with you. This is a person who never walked with Jesus, talked with Jesus, sat underneath any of Jesus's teachings, broke bread with Jesus the Christ, and made it his business to, he, just by happenstance, I was not part of the whole, I don't think, I'm going to do a little more research, but he wasn't part of the whole Sanhedrin. But certainly right after, during in the book of Acts, after the resurrection and everything, he went around killing folk. So here we have an unmarried man, ain't been married a day in his life, ain't got a child to first, ain't got no woman. Who knows why? I don't know why the man didn't have no woman. That ain't for me to know. But he ain't have now. That I do know. And so we gonna set up a whole entire planet based on his foolish ass ways of thinking. It's late. Y'all, we adults. It's all right. And how he couldn't stand women. Now, don't sing me this song about, oh, well, that really wasn't what was said. No, he said women should share that. He just said women shouldn't be teaching men that a woman was not supposed to withhold her body from her husband. So, baby, if you feel like it or you don't, I guess you're just going to have to give it up tonight. It's killing our planet. Yep, absolutely. It is. It is. Hey, Chocolate Earth. I'm going to drop the link, y'all. Women gave a role, but they should take advantage of their position. Each of us has a role, but we absolutely should be taking our positions. They don't feel like they can express their feelings. Absolutely. They're not in touch with their feminine side. So what happens now? We're all lopsided. Why does this have anything to do with anything that I've been looking at and trying to figure out and whatnot and whatnots? I'm looking at the fact that here we have this whole Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial going on, right? She cuckoo for cocoa. She's a toxic feminine heifer if I ever seen one. we have Will Smith and Jada. So now we've got this toxic femininity that's rising, and we'll be talking about that a little bit later on this week. I'm gonna drop a special Sunday Soul podcast because I want to talk about the toxic femininity too, especially as Venus is coming into Aries. Like, we got to be on the lookout for it because we're going to see more of it. But then I'm looking at the whole thing going on over there in the Ukraine. But why have the patriarchs spoke of that, but they're not talking about the fact that over in China they're starving their people? Like, all of the city of Shanghai is on lockdown. They're about to lock down Beijing. Like, they're not shipping food into these major cities. We're talking about tens of millions of people that are being starved to death as we're talking right now. Tens of millions of people. Because some men, whatever, for whatever reason they've decided to do this. Now we'll talk more about this on Rumble. I'll be back over there on Rumble this week. But the patriarchy has decided what we should be hearing, seeing, and paying attention to, and or not. That's what they've decided. That's problematic. You have too much power. It's men that are talking about, oh, maybe I should hit a nuclear weapon. Oh, we can control the nuclear weaponry, though. Some of them aren't as big as you think. It's not going to be that bad just to drop a small one. How the hell are you going to contain nuclear? How are you going to? This makes no sense. It makes no logical sense. Patriarchy, as it has been instituted in the world, has to go. We cannot ascend to a world of love, light, compassion, higher frequency while we have the control freaks are all controlling from a lower vibrational energy of hate, guilt, shame, war, anger, fear, and control. That's low energy crap. We can't. How are we gonna? I can't. And for people to say, well, I want you, for men, and the problem is that we do have women that are on some of these like mainstream news outlets, and they write for some of these papers and stuff like that, and because they want to be accepted by, or they've drunk the Kool-Aid or whatever the fuck is going on. I'm sorry, this really got me today. Because they feel like their validation is in the patriarchal, male controlled media lying society, that they're just going to go along with it. You can't even be a bit more walking in any divine femininity than a man on the moon, and you are knowingly participating in this. How can you knowingly participate? You guys, if you don't believe me, when we are done, I want you to go to TikTok and I want you to just like search Shanghai. Even on YouTube, search Shanghai Screams. Shanghai Screams. Search that. Your heart will break when you hear and see what's going on, the videos that have been able to be smuggled out of there. What goddess, and I'm going to put this back on us, what goddess can sit there with these fools and allow them to not discuss that, allow them to sit here and say, oh, we're going to send billions and billions of dollars over there overseas, and yet we have people starving to death here. Yet we have people that are injured due to various medical procedures, but we're acting like it doesn't happen. Yet we've got the doctors and nurses and things over here, some of which are like, yeah, that long Rona stuff, the long Rona, y'all know what I'm talking about, the long Rona. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. So it's just all in your head. Yet we have people that are being put out of their homes. Yet we have almost 10% inflation now, and our food prices are about to go up 10 to 20% over the summer. Yet we can't give our seniors on Social Security a significant raise in their Social Security because we're too busy. And we'd rather send weaponry all over the world and help to cause wars all over the world. And no, let me tell you something. A woman that is walking in her divine feminine could not possibly make a decision to starve a city of 26 million people. A woman could not do that. That is a mother and walking in her divine feminine. If we do not end patriarchy, we're going to have a lot of problems. So this new moon was not about at all manifestation. It was about integrating the energy you already possess so that you could walk in it fully. It does make me sick how governments treat our government, everybody else's government. People are not paying attention to what the hell's going on. People are not paying attention to what the hell's going on. Melanin people, melanated people, my melanin folks, my black folks, my ADOS. You've been hollering about reparations. You know where your reparations is going? Right out the back door to China, out the back door to other countries, out the back door to people that were not brought here. That's where your money going. So I don't want to hear about it. This is crazy. Our money goes to the 1% and the elites. You know, I'm gonna tell you something. I will agree with you with the elites, but let me tell you, they have changed. Do you know that the 1%ers? I read something about 3-4 months ago that 1%ers include people that are making like $150,000, $200,000 a year. Can you believe that? Technically, somewhere in that range. I don't know about you, right now. Um, I'm very open about the fact that I've been able to create 2 multiple 6-figure businesses in the last 3 years. I'm an entrepreneur right now. I retired from corporate America a little over a year ago. And February 12th of 2021, I officially retired from corporate America. Now, I don't feel like I'm a 1%er. But according to the statistics, evidently I am. I ain't getting none of that government money. I ain't getting none of yours either, baby. Oh, child, I can't. Oops. I cannot. Absolutely. Who it's killing. Yeah, absolutely. The Ronas. The global 1%. Oh, okay. I'll go with you. Okay, I got you. Yeah, it's crazy. But let me tell you something. The other side to that is there used to be a day, and it wasn't that long ago, where Because one of the beautiful things about this country is the fact of was the small businesses, was the mom and pop shops, was the businesses that had under 1,000 employees or under 10,000 employees, definitely under 1,000 employees. Those were the beautiful. That was the thing that solidified this country, was a solid middle to upper middle class, where you had entrepreneurs and people that were employing people. Stop. That is rude. Um, we still need corporations to employ people. So we can't demonize that to the point that, you know what I'm saying, companies create jobs. But what's happened is the elite of the elites during the Ronas, during lockdowns, what happened? Your Walmarts, your Amazons, right? Your big names got extremely rich. Why? Because the mom and pops couldn't operate. All of a sudden the mom and pops were told, "Nope, you can't be open." Under the guise of, "Oh my gosh, there's this like killer cold." Now I'm not saying the cold didn't exist, but can we just think about this for a minute? It took a year or less to kill off a good chunk of businesses that employed. It used to be that employed over 50. I think it was like up to 60 or 70% at one time. I want to say this was in the 90s or the early 2000s. Employed up to 60 to 70% of Americans were employed by companies that had less than 100 employees. Oh, someone joined the membership. Thank you. I didn't see it. If you did, I'm so sorry. Um, so that like the middle class is what's kept America, and I'm off patriarchy for a second. The middle class is what kept America America, because that was very unique to America. Everywhere else there's like kind of two classes, and there's in social democracies like different countries in Europe, it's somewhat the same, but not quite. But this was the beginning, or a very strong jolt towards moving us towards a socialistic, communistic economy where there's basically two classes, rich and poor. The middle class is what kept America going, right? And so as we allowed big tech, big pharma, big companies, corporations, like, again, like the Walmarts and the Amazons and such of the world, to gain more power because they were making our lives more convenient, we ended up handing over our power. We ended up handing it over. And so now they're able to, big banks, able to control so much. That's how that really, really happened. Where are we at here? The higher you rise, the more strange. Yeah. Yeah. I've actually, I mean, I guess I could say this here. And, last year, I think it was, I got different offers to join a specific organization and I turned them down. I got 3 offers, turned them down. To co-create knowledge. Yeah. Value different types of knowledge rather than patriarchal. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, they made billions. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. So anyway, let me drop the link. Looks like I've got mainly people over here on Facebook, so I'm gonna drop the link on the Facebook side. Oh, welcome, Velma, to the membership. Sorry, sweetheart, I couldn't see it in the restream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. In fact, guys, tomorrow night, for all my members, I will be on tomorrow night. We'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming let me not lie, probably 7:30 Central, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. I'll be doing some quick reads for you guys. So you guys want to come up onto, nope, don't end the stream, Lise. Click the wrong button. you guys want to come up on to the live stream, I'll be on here for just a little bit more. We're talking about should we end the patriarchy? And I guess we're going to kind of move a little bit into how are we going to end it? How are we going to end the patriarchy, beloveds? How are we going to end it? Let me see if I could put this on Facebook. Paste. Oh, good Lord, help us all. I don't know if anyone's watching on Facebook, but if you are, there is the link to join the discussion. I'm going to pin that here. So if you want to discuss it a little bit, otherwise, we'll shut her down because I got a lot of ish to do. Yeah. Believe it or not, I have so much. I still haven't caught up from being gone. So the patriarchy, should we end it? Absolutely, we should. We're way out of balance. We are far and away out of balance. When we have too much masculine energy, this is what the resultant is. Wars, famine, pestilence, people figuring out how to concoct and create stuff, ways to unalive people. Welcome to the show, Shakira. Welcome. How are you?
Hey.
Hey, there you are. How's it going?
Oh, I'm great. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm very well. What do you have to, what's your thought process on this?
Oh my gosh. Well, I won't talk loud. I mean, I won't talk long because
Do you have the other another tab open, dear?
yeah, let me mute.
Okay. If you just turn the sound off on the other tab, then you'll be able to talk here. Hey, Melinda. Yeah, Gemini's here, being a butthead. So, guys, if you wanted their link,
How about? Oh, I'm sorry. How about now?
I think will be
You
okay.
can.
So if you've got me open on another like web browser tab from here, you can hit the mute button on that tab.
Got you.
And then you won't get the feedback.
All right.
How's it going, girl? Hey, Cricket, how are you? Welcome. We are talking about should we end the patriarchy? And we can begin to move into ways to begin to do that. I was looking at what you guys said that you had.
Okay. How about that?
Perfect. You're perfect.
Awesome.
Yes.
Oh gosh. So I'm looking a little special. I'm gonna show my face, but I'm looking working hard over here.
Okay.
Well, first of all, I want to say I love you, and that I don't know. I just met you like a couple times in the consciousness thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm
Okay.
Chocolate Earth. This is me. So
all right.
yeah, hey. I don't put my real name out there, but I was like, no, this is my girl. I'm putting my name out here. So thank you for letting me come up. So I'll keep it to the point. Yes, we have to end the patriarchy. And it was something to your point that I took very personal. We're not worrying about our children going hungry, elderly going hungry. We're not building anything. We're not making anything. And it's up to us now as women, especially women of color, to come together and start to build. And to give that prime example, I have invested some of my money into purchasing a piece of land. I want to take that property. The goal is to buy the property now, get the 4 greenhouses up now. So by the time fall comes in, we can have baskets of like greens and fruit and whatever we can grow so that we can send it out to our communities. I don't see the patriarchy doing that. I have watched this take place for years, and all it's done is gotten worse. And if anything, the mysterious virus, it it pulled back a veil on how we've allowed men, and I have nothing against men. I love you to death, but you guys have already put into play a situation that the things that need to be taken care of are not being taken care of.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so for me personally, um, I want to create that because we have no grocery stores in fresh grocery stores in our community still. I
Mhm.
know that for us, the people of color, we have a tendency to individualize and go, oh, that's not me. I didn't do that. I'm just one person.
Right.
Everything we have and deal with is been created by other human beings.
Mhm.
There's not a person named corporate walking around destroying stuff. It is about us individually coming together and go, let's make change. Our
Mhm.
children need new schools. We need
Mhm.
housing. And there's
Mhm.
ways to do that. And I've spent like about 4 or 5 years just studying all of this because that's why I call my foundation Chocolate Earth, because that's what I'm trying to do is make opportunities, give people an opportunity to breathe. You can't take care of nothing if you're feeling raggedy because you're not eating the right food.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it's heartbreaking to hold on, I'm so sorry. Let me put my camera on. I know I'm
You're
looking
fine.
kind of special here. So that way people can see my face and know I ain't on no craziness. Hi,
Yeah,
okay.
hi. Hey.
So hey. But yes, and to speak to that even deeper, I make clothes, design dresses, make those
Mhm.
things like that. And I had reached out to a gentleman who owns one of the few black owned cotton farms in the
Okay.
country. And when I reached out to him, I said, hey, listen, I want to show the process of how we get our fabrics. And I
Mhm.
used this one as because I started, buying fabric, but then I was like, where am I buying this fabric from? Who is making this? And then when I started doing my research, I was heartbroken by the fact that they don't pay these women any money. It's very work, 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 and it's all coming from overseas.
Yep.
When I asked this gentleman, I said, "Listen, you make cotton. I want to make dresses. We can create something different by building a brand for our own that is economical and you know what I'm saying? It's stylish, it's nice, and it's coming from us."
Right.
He wrote me back and said, "Good luck to your idea, but I don't see that, you know, that I don't see that happening."
I know.
And
I
I said,
I
"Okay,
I wish I could say I was shocked.
no, I'm not."
I'm
That's a
not.
sad thing. It's a sad thing. Yeah, I'm
You
not
know,
shocked.
no, I'm not. And
Hmm.
in order for us to end the patriarchy, well,
Hmm.
it's literally gonna take us women folk literally saying, so you're talking and I need you to email me admin@heartofinspiration.net. If one of my mods could put my email address, please, or just put the
Oh,
website
okay.
in there.
Yes, I will.
Um,
I will definitely.
because there's some stuff I want to talk to you about. Um,
Oh, okay.
Everything happens for a reason.
I
Anyway,
believe that. Oh, sorry. Okay, the camera
no, you're
leaving
fine.
because things
You're
is.
fine.
Oh, okay. There we go. All right.
Um,
Yay.
but we have to take it back. And it's
Yes.
not that I'm saying we don't need men,
Right.
but what I'm saying is we don't need you to be here just thumping your chest and this is what
Right.
it's gonna be my way or the highway. You know what you're talking
Exactly.
about. Like, miss me, I'm done with that
Hmm.
because we've
Hmm.
tried it your way
Right. Right.
and it doesn't
Absolutely.
work.
No.
It does
No.
not work.
Mm.
Instead of a patriarchy, why can we not have a balance? This is what I don't seem to understand. And then don't even
Mm-hmm.
get me started on the manosphere, mother truckers. I'm gonna
Woo,
try not to
honey.
curse because I'm trying to be nice tonight. I'm really trying. So then
Listen,
that's a
sometimes
hard
you can't
curse.
be nice. You can't
That's
be
a hard
nice. It's
curse word.
not, it's
Yeah.
not the we are, as you stated before, and I'm gonna tell you, I watched your the when you did for Taurus and you were reading all of
Hmm.
the
The
oh, my
sign.
brain. I have to say thank you, jeez. Um I you got to Taurus and I was sat here and I was looking at my sister like, is she talking to me? Does she know what's happening in my life? I feel real nervous. I gotta tell her this. No, it was, and it was so connecting in the fact that I struggle with that just like everyone else. I
Mhm,
struggle with, am I good enough to do what I'm trying to do?
mhm, mhm,
Am
mhm,
I fighting for it the right way? Am I,
mhm,
why isn't it this way? And so
mhm,
us as women, it's an upheaval, it's an awakening at this time
mhm,
that you are just as important as our male counterparts.
mhm,
And we see it all the time. I mean,
mhm.
there are women who run countries, Germany, New Zealand. They were women. And it's like here, when you said, why can't we have a balance? Well, you can't get a balance, especially not in the United States, because it wasn't started that way. The foundation is
Exactly,
rocky.
exactly,
Hmm. Hmm.
exactly. Which is why I went to the Pauline epistles. Because let's go back to how this whole thing was created.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
If you're going to go back there, that is misogyny on 20, on
Woo,
100.
talk about
Like,
it.
and when you push back, especially as a woman who is also ordained, when I would push back, oh, that's not really what he meant. Well, that's what he said. Like, you can't sit here and say to me, this is the unadulterated, you know,
Right.
completely divine word of the Lord. And then on the other hand, but that's not really what that meant. No, don't
Exactly.
you can't have it
Exactly.
both ways. But that double speak is what you get. We get accused as women to do double speak.
All the
Men
time.
double speak worse than women ever will.
Ooh, yeah. Well, that's what we taught. Like when guys say to me that argument of what women can have and how it is, and you can't do this, you can't do that. I said, well, what you need to do is take that energy and talk to the men who started it. Talk to
Thank
the
you.
men who are perpetuating it.
Thank
Why
you.
are we still having these conversations about a woman submitting? What are you talking
Oh,
about? What are you talking about? First off, you can't be a king because you don't have a kingdom. You don't
oh,
build anything. We don't have any money. You have
oh,
no resources. We're not changing the world or making it better for our community. You just want to sit and complain about how you think you deserve this woman to come in and bow down to you and wash your feet like Jesus. Listen, you need to go on down the street with that. And
you
that's
might
the
need to love me
problem.
like you might need to love me then like Jesus loved the church. But anyway, I'm gonna
Yeah.
put we'll put that aside. But I'm gonna propose a concept here. What if it is not necessarily that he does not have a physical kingdom,
Hmm.
but he doesn't have his spiritual kingdom in order and
Yeah.
is not seated on the throne of his own divinity? That's
Hmm.
the kingdom he's lacking, is the
Hmm.
kingdom within to be able to create the kingdom without. So if
That's
you're not
it.
even a king of yourself, how the hell are you going to be a king over me?
Well, because they didn't even have it. Nobody from the time the Puritans set forth and changed our society of how it was integrated, our segregation, the racism, classism, all of this was set up in beforehand. You see it, and it's like all we're asking for is for you to back up and let me do what I need to do. But because our men, and not dogging anybody, but our men feel inferior to the men who are in charge. And
I
instead of us coming
mhm,
together, we become the enemy. Black women become the enemy because
yeah,
we are succeeding and excelling in ways that, what would that be, like maybe 50 years ago we weren't even allowed to do.
true. I think the women in general are the enemy. Now, I'm not going to not denigrating or invalidating that,
No,
but if
gotcha.
you look at it, even with the men that are in charge,
Hmm.
how they put their own women down.
Exactly. Hmm.
So I feel very strongly that it's just in general, it's women that are the enemy number one,
Right. Right.
right? Enemy
We
number
can't.
one. And
Right.
because that society, that culture, we're just gonna call a
Hmm.
thing, that
Yeah.
European culture did not honor the feminine nature, the feminine
Hmm.
energy, the
Right.
feminine divinity in and of itself, whereas just about every other culture around the globe did.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so when you have then that proliferation of that culture being basically colonizing, taking over, I use the analogy of, hopefully as mothers, we teach our toddlers, our 2 and 3 year olds, that you just can't go gank something from somebody else and call it
Hmm.
mine and now it's
Right.
yours, right? We teach two and three
Exactly.
year olds this.
Hmm.
However, the people that came over here and ganked this whole entire nation, and the people that came kept coming down and
Yeah.
ganking information, people,
Hmm.
knowledge and wisdom out of the continent,
Right.
they never learned that lesson, evidently. So we're dealing with a 2 and 3 year old mentality is really what we're dealing with.
Oh
No offense
yes.
to anybody.
No,
No
you are,
offense.
there is a stomp. There is a stopping place, and it doesn't allow for room. And what I notice, especially among men, and especially among men who are trying to seek power, they are imbalanced within their own culture.
Correct.
So when we as women start to find balance and push back and go, no, that can't work, that can't keep happening.
Right. Right.
No one is against having a relationship. Nobody is against wanting to have someone in their life. But ultimately, as a human being living on this earth, being given all that you have,
Yes.
why would I choose to be unhappy to please
Right.
another person?
Right. Right.
And women didn't have those choices back then. And sometimes even now, because I'm a documentary nut. So it's like when you hear these cults, they're always the same. Have you followed the story of the gentleman Nature Boy?
Oh
Have
my
you seen
God.
any? I didn't know anything about him. I was doing some research, and his video came up, and then I just was appalled. Like my mouth was open
Hmm.
when it's 2022
Uh-huh.
and we still have human beings, but majority men, deciding that the only way they can get power is by belittling women.
Others. Absolutely. And it crosses all racial bounds. I see a lot of people in the
Oh
chat.
yeah.
So guys, I want those that are not melanated or those whoever, whatever the case may be. I want y'all to understand, I'm not making this about race.
Mhm.
This is not necessarily about race. What I have to do is, though, we have to get comfortable with calling a thing and going back to the roots.
Right,
Because if
right.
I can't go back and I teach y'all this in your individual lives. You got to go back in your life, this lifetime or maybe previous ones, but you got to go back and figure out where the root of the problem, where the origination of the programming that now is poisonous to your person has started, so that we can go back and do that work, that shadow work, and dig that up and then transmute that energy and reintegrate it so we can elevate. That's a whole lot I just said, but I want you to think about that.
But
If
it's
you don't
true.
go back to the origination of the poisonous programming
Mm-hmm.
that is now continuing to poison your person, you'll never get the poison out. Why? Because you refuse to go see what snake bit your behind way
Right.
back then.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying that I have some hatred for those of European descent. I
Right.
am significantly Irish. I am mostly Irish, English, and Indigenous American, specifically Creek Indian that I know of, and potentially some Cherokee.
Mm-hmm.
Um, However, I can trace my lineage back to Alexander Hamilton. Like literally, we are close
Wow.
enough that we are part of my family. On my mother's side is part of the Alexander Hamilton, whatever
Wow.
lineage foundation,
Yeah.
whatever the heck that is,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
back over there in England. So it would be self hate. However, I have to call a thing a thing. And I have to say, this is part of the problem. So we
Mm-hmm.
don't identify the problem. We cannot actually then identify the solution if we can't identify the problem.
Exactly.
So this is
Exactly.
nothing against anybody, and I don't want anybody to think that. And if you've hung out with me long enough, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, am I saying that our cultures had were perfect? Absolutely freaking not. Absolutely not. Um,
It,
but okay, let me I'm sorry, one second.
no, no,
Girl
no.
talk.
Go ahead.
It's not that I am enunciating or whatever on color ethnicity. I understand we are one and we are human. We are also living a third dimensional existence. And because we're living a third dimensional existence, there have been different um, expressions of things as they have occurred throughout human history. If I
Right.
don't call it what it is, if I can't name it, right? I
Right.
can't I can't give you the antidote to a poison that you refuse to
I
tell
got to
me
do the
how it got
research.
there.
You got to do the research.
So that's all that I'm saying. And so I want us to be able to have these conversations in a safe place where there's
Mm-hmm.
no judgment. But now we're like, okay, this is where it came from. The majority
Right.
of my lineage, that's not how we ran our stuff. The women in most, in fact, in most indigenous um, Native American tribes, I'm not quite sure in on the African side, but I do know on the indigenous
Right.
Native American tribe, before there was a new leader chosen, a new chief of a tribe, the women, it was the elder women that were
Right.
consulted first. You didn't rise to any level of power within the tribe as a man
Right.
unless the elder women came together and gave their blessing. Now, it wasn't that they were running things or what have you, but everybody understood that these elder women had the gift of sight, of knowledge, right? They had an intuitiveness and they honored that. And
Right.
so they consulted Great Spirit, they consulted the ancestors, and then they collectively came together as one and said, this is who we are anointing and ordaining as the next leader in this position or that position. We don't do
Mm-hmm.
that now. The men who have, I've noticed that there are men that are like, listen, and I've known pastors, apostles, preachers, all sorts of people that are married, and they used to tell me all the time that they did not take any speaking engagement or did not go anywhere without their wife. And I'd be like, well, why is that? Well, she sees.
Right.
She's the
Right.
seer. She'll see something coming sideways well before I do. And so that he honored that in her. And so they had a wonderful partnership. It wasn't that he lorded over her.
And that's it. That's you've put that right where it goes. The
Hmm.
issue we are having currently within our culture is the shift of understanding. You're talking about a culture of people who don't believe in therapy. We're just now getting into self-love. We're just
Hmm.
now getting into using psychological terms for what is going on with us. We
Hmm.
all we all have trauma in our
Mm-hmm.
lives. And for us, I was that girl who was told the majority of my life, you're a strong black woman. You're a
Mm-hmm.
strong black woman. And I ended up resenting the statement.
Yeah.
And that was because, yes, I don't mind putting myself out there because I feel like my journey and my story is something that people can understand and relate to, and we don't
Yeah.
discuss it, not within our culture.
Yeah.
I was the caretaker. I don't
Right.
have any children. So my life ended up being where I was taking care of my mom, my sister, and my younger brother for the majority of my adult life.
Yeah.
When you see how that works, if I had decided to just walk away or go do something else, I have that option. I have that option because I'm free to do whatever I want to do. But
Yeah.
when you're in a culture, and this is the thing that I think we've gotten away from, is that it takes a village. It
It does.
really does take a village. And my mother and I, before she passed, we decided that um, we need that. We need that
Right.
unification. We need our own communities again. And it has nothing to do with segregation. It has to do with like-minded people. I don't care what color you are.
As
Because I
long as
think
we're
as
on the same
women,
page. Exactly.
right, exactly. As long as we're on the same page, I don't that is
Exactly.
not a
Right.
part of my
I
makeup.
agree. I agree.
Mhm.
We're gonna welcome Smoke. Hey, all the Smoke. Hey, Smoke.
Hey,
What's going on?
Hello.
hello,
Hello.
hello, hello. Good evening, ladies. Good
Good
evening.
evening. Good evening.
Hey,
Uh,
how's it going, my friend?
Good. Had such a great long day. Got to see some really just good people who are in my tribe for life, and just I had
Oh.
to tune into this conversation because it's very interesting because my family's from West Africa. They're from Liberia, and
Oh.
in my particular family, the women outrank the men. So
Mhm.
there are more females in my family than
Yeah.
men,
Yeah.
and but it's like not strangely enough, but it's just like the family is able to be it's held together strongly. Like yes, we have problems and we have issues like any other family does, but the the women in my family, and I'll specifically speak I mean, like the difference between my mom and my dad. My dad, I guess, my mom ruled rules with her heart, and my dad kind of ruled with his hands sometimes, and sometimes his
Yes.
mouth, and that
Yeah.
has left some very traumatic scars for me that I'm still like reckoning with and dealing with today.
Oh
Mm.
wow.
And even my mom, she remembers a conversation that her and my dad had before he passed. He was like, well, why are the kids always doing X, Y, and Z for you and not for me? And she's like, you have to ask them, not me. But it's like my mom, she worked full time as well. She had her own stuff just like my dad, but she always found time to be with us and always support us, take us out, hang out with us. So we're gonna have a closer bond to her. So it's like anything she needs, we're going to do the best we can to provide that for her.
Mhm. Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Welcome, Melinda. So
Welcome.
that's
Hey,
Hey.
interesting.
hey,
I'm glad you're here.
Hey.
I want us to answer this question
Okay.
because I have my thoughts. And I'm so
Hmm.
glad, Smoke, that you're here too,
Mhm.
because that gives us a little bit of a glimpse into what ending the patriarchy could look like.
Get rid of all the men. I'm sorry,
Oh my
Oh.
God.
fellas.
No, we couldn't do all the men.
I'm sorry,
No,
fellas.
We cannot.
no.
It's not an
That's not
option.
it.
It's not
No,
an
no, no,
option.
no, no,
No,
sir.
that's not an option,
No.
Smoke. That's not an option.
There's
Mm.
there's 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 some out there. There's some out there. They hiding. They hiding. That's all.
Just
flag on the
gone.
play.
Just be
Flag on the play.
done.
I'm done with it because the reason why I say get rid of all the men is just like we have seen for thousands of years what men in charge has led to, and look at the devastation that's going on around the world. I mean, like yes, we can say that we have normal functioning lives, but the I'm not understanding like even what's going on in the war in Ukraine and whatnot. Like, you can have a conversation with these people and be like, listen, I want you to be a part of my crew. We got some really cool stuff here in Russia that you would love. But they said, thank you, but no thank you. And let that be the end of it. Instead, you're trying to create tension and issue where there is none, where everybody and their mama feel that they got to get involved on behalf of Ukraine, which I understand. Yes, there's civilian lives that are there that we should not leave anyone behind. But it's just always been so fascinating to me, especially us being from America, how and Tupac said it best, like, we always find money for wars, but we can't feed the poor. The
Right.
the money,
Yes.
where we need the resources to be pulled in from, we're not getting it. But we can spend $1 trillion on a fighter jet that is used in the army. So I'm just like, the priority is just so, excuse my French, ass backwards, and I'm just like over it. I'm just like, we need like a clean slate somewhere and just like do over, or the Martians need to come take all of us and we just populate another planet.
I love it.
The Martians might
You
be
hitting
coming.
it right on it.
The Martians, maybe not the Martians, but the Palladians are on their way. But let me tell you this though. Let me put this. Let me throw this out there, and then I'm gonna let you jump in.
Okay.
Ooh, y'all not gonna like me as soon as I say this, but y'all still gonna love me. Just still love me in the morning, okay?
Okay.
Rip the Band-Aid. Just rip the Band-Aid
Right.
off.
Go.
We just had 4 years without a war. We just had a president that didn't spend any money out of the United States of America. In fact, put America first. We just had a president. We just had a president who, under his administration, Black unemployment was as low, if not lower, than it was back in the 1950s, when we had our own economies thriving in our own neighborhoods. Black business growth exponentially in those 4 years. And
down goes the
we
weasel.
didn't like him because of his tweets.
Oh boy.
Okay, I can step on this one.
She got me on my shoulders. Go ahead.
Okay,
Not the
I'm not
fans.
even gonna lie. I was making bank when the last president was in office. I was clocking those dollars, hands down. It was about the most that I've ever earned in my entire life. Okay, and the fact that we're in this state now where everybody is just fending for themselves, it says a lot. How, the last president, yes, he did put America first. A lot of people were up in arms about him retrieving the U.S. from certain deals because he felt like the U.S. has done enough, and to a certain extent, he felt like other allies needed to tap in as well, to help out with whatever was going on. And the fact that he actually went over there and held a conversation to Mr. Putin himself to de-escalate whatever was about to happen, as well as Kim Jong-un, it was all good.
Right. So this is my only point. My only point. I just want us to open up our eyes. See, I'm 50 some odd years old, babies. Okay. I used to vote a certain way for many, 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 many years. Why? Because that's what you were supposed to do, right? And then I would tell you what changed for me. I became an entrepreneur. And then I started realizing that you can sit in front of my pool and in front of my church every 4 years, and then I don't see you again until the next time you need me to lay down a vote. And every promise you made is broken. I don't trust either side no further than I can throw them. My only point is this, is we gotta be careful and be open and real with ourselves about what we are allowing to occur. So when Smoke, you say toss out all of them, you know what, how I feel about it? We could toss everybody that's in government. I mean, everybody. I don't care who you is. All
Mhm.
y'all can go. All y'all can go. All y'all can go. Because that wasn't the way this was supposed to be.
Mhm.
Mhm.
All y'all can go. Start over. Can't none of y'all serve more than 2 years. Then you got to go back and start earning your money and stop taking mad.
Mhm.
Now I'm gonna leave it alone. I don't know. Maybe that's how the
Mm,
patriarchy goes down. I don't know. What y'all think?
Mm.
Let's get into
mm.
it.
Okay, okay. Smoke,
But
would you like to go? I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
No. I mean, I'm just briefly jumping at to me, and I agree with Heart Inspiration when she speaks on like don't believe one over the other. To me, I'm like they're basically wings on the same bird. I feel
They
like
are.
they have secret meetings underground
absolutely.
where they're like, "We gonna do
Yes.
this, you gonna say that."
Absolutely.
So it looks like there's conflict, but they are greatly benefiting from the discord that is happening in the world. And I feel like we need to kind of wake up and be like, they are part of the problem.
Problem.
Them as a
Absolutely.
collective, Democratic, I'm not Democrat, Republican, Independent, however you look at it. If we do not start looking to them and uniting in that way, nothing will ever, like get done as far as that.
Yep.
And I'm
Absolutely.
gonna be quiet.
If it's not
Absolutely.
the greater good of the country, then why are you here? You are a part of the problem in the first place.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Chocolate, my love.
To everyone's point, I love it. I'm going to put it this way. When we look at the presidency, that changes every 4 years.
Mhm.
Mhm.
The problem within our connection to that is that we've been distracted away from our smaller politicians who gain that momentum and get voted in because we're not voting. That's still a fact. That's still a fact that we're not voting as much as we should. Does it matter? Yes. And I'll
Yes.
give you an example. In my understanding of land and how it can be attained, what can happen to it, so on and so forth. If I took, let's say, about 1,000 people, right?
Mhm.
Put them we build a community. Let's go down this street real quick. We build
Mhm.
a community, our own school, our own hospital, our own
Mhm.
police, our own emergency, everything that's there, right? If that falls into if that then turns into its own village, city, town, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm.
Now we have voting power. And a lot of people, if you look at land ownership and you look at how, for instance, the majority of the country is red, we know this.
Mm.
But when you go west, I lived in Arizona for like almost 10 years. And when you go west, what you see is you find pockets of people who have power. If you look at where in proximity the red states or blue states, no, it's broken up by county. And if in those counties, if the buying power, home ownership, let's say you take the community and then turn everybody that lives in the community into homeowners, that changes the dynamic of how we get to vote.
Well, it changes your vote.
Hmm?
It
I'm sorry, say
changes your it changes your vote
yes, it changes your
because
Mhm.
vote.
what happens even here in the northern states, right? The large
Hmm.
major metropolitan areas tend to be what? Blue. Well, there's
Right.
no ownership. There's not
Nope.
very little, or by percentage wise, there's less
Hmm.
home ownership, which means you have less input or financial or physical say into what happens in your schools because you're not
Exactly.
paying school property taxes.
Mm-mm.
You have less of this input in saying what happens to your roads. You're not paying property taxes. It
No.
changes
Mhm.
everything. It changes everything. I will
W-
say to you though, that is how the Constitution is originally set up. This was
exactly.
never set up for there to be this conglomerate of federal oversight into every area of our lives. That's bullshit, guys. That's not how it was supposed to be. We are
No, it
50
wasn't.
individual countries,
Hmm.
basically, that all came
Yes.
together
Right.
Mhm.
under one
Because they were
union.
all separate. You are exactly right. Like we were all
Mhm.
separate. Like um when you come back to it and as you study and you, again, to your part, you said we have to go back to the root. I'm not saying that you need to go all the way back to when who stepped on the land first.
Right.
I'm just saying, let's go back, since everyone is so fascinated with the 1950s all of a sudden within the Black community. I don't know when that started happening. I didn't get the memo for that. So that's, I mean, have you guys heard of the Monahan report? Have you heard of that
Moynihan
before?
report, you mean? The Moynihan?
Yes, Moynihan. Yes. So that was written in like the 60s, I think, or late 50s. I'm not sure.
It was the 60s, early
Yeah.
to mid 60s. Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, we've decided that the best thing for our community is for women to stop being so masculine. That's how we change our community. Well, here's what I've observed. If having my own car, my own home, a great job or business, I got a little money in the bank, I can move through the world on my own.
Mm-hmm.
If that's masculine, then what is the feminine? Because what you're telling me is that as I'm masculine because I'm doing the same things you're doing.
Right.
But if I stop doing those things, then I become a gold digger. Because now how do I look, she did it. She woke me up. Look, I was over here working and she made me stop working. She had me over here hopping around, making noise.
Oh my God.
Because it's very few people that I run into that I can have these type of conversations with. And I'm so thankful for that. And everything happens for a reason. People are attracted to each other for a reason. The energy moves and we don't even know. But the sad thing that I see is that we want to put the things that you have to survive in society. If you are telling me that me obtaining an education, me obtaining a business, me obtaining all of these comforts and necessities that are in our society that we grade ourselves by, is masculine. But sir, Black men in unemployment is 6.4%. That means that there's not enough jobs or nobody's working. So it's like, then where's your masculine? So you're telling me I'm taking away your masculine, but then you don't want to take care of me. You want me to be 50-50. You want to know what I'm bringing to the table. Pick a choice, sir. Just pick one. And I know that is definitely coming from a place of misogyny on the straight men in our circles and in our lives. You're not going to keep flip-flopping me. And it was to your point earlier when you said double speak. That's what that is. Let me gaslight you and say you're masculine because you're doing the things you need to do to survive in the society that we live in. It makes no sense. And when women beat themselves up and say, well, I'm not feminine enough, I'm not, okay, so let's take all the creature comforts away. We in huts, I got a sword, I got to go kill a lion to feed my family. Is that masculine? No, it's survival. Right. We have to stop the roles. Absolutely. They've conflated the two and it's not going to jive because what you're looking at is you're telling me take your identity away. I don't want you to survive on your own. I want to be needed, but I don't want you to need me. Which
the confusion of it all.
There it is. I'm done.
Because they don't really know what they want. Let's answer this question here. Do you think when women attain high positions to take on the identity of do you think when women attain high positions, they take on the identity of the patriarchy?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
really?
Because you have to, well, to some capacity, you have to maintain the balance with your emotional, because we are already naturally emotional human beings. And then you have to logically think about what is the appropriate question or answer to answer people's question, or the appropriate action that needs to be taken in order to make decisions, whether it's an individual base or organizational base or a group base. So to some form of capacity, yes, women will get into that patriarchal mode or tap into their divine masculine mode, because we have to be able to maintain the balance between our emotional and our logical thinking. So, and that
But is
plays
there
true. That plays into the effect to put. We're gonna push it back from the 1950s to the. I feel like the shift happened when it was between the women had to take over the jobs in the steel mill and stuff whenever the men had to be drafted out to the war. And then, of course, it came along with the Great Depression and how everybody was basically left to fend for themselves. And so, yeah, to some degree, women will tap into that patriarchal role. But of course, we have to maintain that balance, because we don't want to make it seem like we're overly emotional in making decisions.
What's wrong with being overly emotional?
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask you.
Well,
go ahead, please.
we all know the typical thing where emotions can get mixed up into passionate response. Like with me, I will state some things and it will come off very passionate and too masculated for people, but it's almost like, well, I have to mean what I say in order for you to take me seriously, because otherwise, if I'm speaking in another tone, you may not take me seriously.
So again, so what's wrong with being why is it overly emotional for me to speak with passion? Why is it overly emotional for me to speak with authority? Why is it overly emotional for me to say, look, I feel like you about to do me dirty and do me wrong, so guess what? I'm gonna move out the way. How's that? Nah, I'm emotional. No, I feel in my gut feeling you about to do me dirty. And guess what? It turned out you did the last 5 of these people dirty too, so I wasn't wrong. So,
And that's the simulation of people not tapping into the emotional
that's my
side
point.
enough.
That's my point. So I think that if it's a woman, so to Smoke's point, if the female in question is not operating in a high vibrational point of view, perspective, if they've not done their work and they've not, you know what I'm saying, then yes, they're going to fall into everything that they have seen thus far as what's been able to be successful, and that's the low vibrational bullcrap patriarchy stuff. But men can be high vibrational beings as well. So I believe that if you can operate in your divine feminine and understand, as a divine feminine being, I'm not saying that I'm any greater than you, but I walk in my power and my divinity, and I'm not threatened by any other female or any other man, because I am whole and complete within myself. So hopefully we would not succumb to the patriarchal BS.
Exactly.
That's my hope.
I feel like, and to the point, and it's so much. My brain is on fire. It puts you in a position when we say masculinity, we haven't defined that yet. I find it interesting that we haven't defined what makes a woman masculine. I can be do you mean I can be masculine in my looks? Yes, there's some women who are handsome. They're more handsome than you would say pretty, I guess. We use these words as weapons. And to the point, when I am talking to I work with children, right? From first kindergarten all the way up to high school. When I interact let's say in the morning, and I come in and I'm excited about the day and I'm talking to the kids and we getting into the groove of the day, that sets the tone of what that's going to be like. The minute I change that, it will affect those who are now connected with me. So what we do is we take the word masculine and feminine, and then we weaponize it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
cannot say to me, because no matter what, a woman in let's say, for instance, if I'm trying to get a good one, but let's say, for instance, someone said in the chat, we need a female president. Well, I'll tell you this. The reason why we won't get that is because, again, we have defined power by what we have between our legs. And then you weaponize emotion.
Mm-hmm.
I know these men are making emotional decisions in our government. They're making decisions based on who they like, what they want. All of this pomp and circumstance that the media gives you, that's not what's happening. What's happening is they're trying to, like, for instance, back to the point of talking about Ukraine. Could we go in as America and do what need to be done? Yeah, of course, because we spend all our money on the military. They got all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And to your point about Trump, he was an emotional person. He did things based on quick emotion, didn't read nothing, wouldn't check nothing out. He would just go and do. Yes, there's always benefits no matter what, whether we have somebody scary in office or someone who has some sense. When we had Obama in office, everybody talked about what Obama didn't do, but we didn't discuss the fact that all of the House and the Senate was Republican and they weren't letting anything through.
True.
When you come
Bill
back
Clinton
to
had a full for 6 years, had a full Republican House and Senate, and still managed to get things through.
and that's because who was the Republican? He was still of the ilk that is our country. And we know that's true. What's necessary now is when people say, oh, okay, you need to pay attention, you need to wake up. Yes, I understand that. But let's get to a solution. Solution is this. There's almost, in Arizona alone, $17 million worth of land. I go back to that because real estate, land, that is power within this country. That's why nobody got their 40 acres and a mule. And when we did get it, they played the game and said, well, we're going to take it from you, Native American. We're going to give it to this black man. Now I put a divide there too.
Oh, they didn't give it to the black man. They did not. They didn't
no,
give it to the black man either.
And that's the thing. They didn't even give it to us.
They created studies. I want to push back on something though. You said that Trump made only emotional decisions. That's not true. Trump is a very well-read, consistently well-read. Now he might speak before he's got that Gemini mouth. Like my son has Gemini mouth. My son's a Gemini, so I understand that.
Don't do that heart of inspiration. I'm a Gemini too. Don't do that.
I love y'all. No, wait. I love Geminis. You know why I love y'all?
You
all can assimilate information quickly. I can say something. I be talking to my boy and I'd be like, this Negro ain't paying me a bit more attention than the man on the moon. I'm like, did you hear me, boy? And he'd be like, Ma. And he'll run down every last thing I just said. I'd be like, I hate you.
Yeah.
But anyway, but he will hear all of that, process it, make a decision, and he's gone. Like there's, you know what I'm saying? He's gone. Now, sometimes does he move a little too fast? And I'm like, dude, you may have wanted to rethink how you was about to say what you just said, because that really kind of came out a little foul. And he'd be like, yeah, I know. So when I say it lovingly, because I love my Geminis, but y'all tend to suffer from Gemini mouth from time to time. It just comes out.
Oh,
and
sure.
you don't mean no harm. You really don't. You just say what how you really feeling or what you're thinking, and we go on with it.
Here's the
So
thing: we don't sit on Reddit. We are the ready.
Okay.
absolutely. And guess what? And if it doesn't work,
Exactly.
you're fast enough thinkers that you can say, oh, you're fast enough analyzers and thinkers and movers. You will devise a whole new plan. It won't take you long to figure out this plan of action really wasn't the road we were supposed to go down. Okay, I got a new plan. Here we go. And it'll still be thought out. So I don't believe that the man didn't have the information. I believe that how it was presented to us, how he was making his decisions, made him look like he did not think about things before it happened. There's absolutely no way that you can be a person that can go bankrupt or have so many businesses close and then you come back and you come back and you come back. There's no way that he could have amassed the wealth that he did without being a person that was fully capable of knowing what was going on at almost every turn. I will say
Mm.
this though, what we need to be paying attention to the fact is that I don't know how many of you know this, but Bill Gates right now is the largest owner of farmland in the United States of America. And he's not even
Mm-hmm,
living
mm-hmm.
here. He's over there in
Mm-mm.
China pulling puppet strings and
Mm-hmm.
starving people over there in China.
Yeah, yeah.
Entire cities, guys. Almost 30 million people in Shanghai right now are being starved to death. Beijing is next. So why are you buying up all this farmland over here? And why are we not
Oh,
paying
I'm
attention
sorry.
Mm.
to that?
I will
He
answer the question as soon as someone else goes.
he done bought like boatloads of land in Mississippi, and especially on the Mississippi River, the Delta area.
Absolutely.
I was like, oh my gosh, y'all got to be kidding me.
Absolutely.
Because
Ooh.
I know for a fact that my grandfather had boatloads of land in Mississippi, and majority of that had gotten taken because he was doing moonshine. And lo and behold, there's a
Mm-hmm.
show on the AMC or wherever network it is about them folks in the Carolinas doing moonshine and stuff. And I'm like, okay, what's the deal? Uh, uh hello, I need to get to the bottom of this so we can regain that we can regain that land back. So it
Mm-hmm.
was
Well, you
crazy.
know what? When you if anyone, has the time or take a look, just search land all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
Um the land that Bill Gates purchased, he is planning on building a city. Part of that is in Arizona as well. He bought a whole bunch of land in Arizona. He wants to make the first like full on technology driven city. That's what those, and you were saying that earlier, Hart, when you were talking about the 1%. It's levels to it, just like anything else.
Mm-hmm.
We now can see the curtain is back. Let's go. But the solution is, hands down, is that there are going to be people that are going to be on board, and there are going to be people that are not. And I'm not
Yeah.
worried about the not. I'm worried
Nope.
about. I'm worried about. I have 3 young grand nephews. I'm a great aunt. What is?
Oh, wow.
Right,
Really?
right. Yeah, my nephew
Mm.
decided he wanted to be like his grandfather. But anyway, so um, what I think about this stuff all the time,
Yeah.
and people think that I am completely off my rocker, and I could be, but the truth remains that the solution to change any of this is that we need to start investing in ourselves, not
Absolutely.
just
Mhm.
in the community, but invest in ourselves, invest in our health.
Absolutely.
Here's something that I take to heart personally. There's no charity that will help you go get therapy. I didn't mean to make that rhyme, but it's the truth.
It's true.
It's not free to go get therapy.
Nope.
It's not.
Mm-mm.
And when you're telling what we have stereotyped now as the Black single mother with 2 3 kids, she should have chose better. It's always on the woman, always,
Yep.
always.
Yep.
So to me, if it's always on me, then I'm gonna just do what I want to do. And that's
Right.
probably why I'm single currently. So it's like you have to. I want to leave something behind.
Yes.
Mhm.
And the only way I felt I could get to that point, because it is going to take individuals just coming together and doing it. We can have our own water system. We can grow our own food. We can build our own homes. There is so much that we could do to better our situation and pay attention to the politics of our cities, our counties, our towns. Start figuring out who are these people, because when it comes down to it, regardless of the president, it's still ran by governors. Our states are governed.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
the president can say, hey, red shoe, blue shoe. But if your governor is like, I don't care about shoes, you ain't getting them unless you
Absolutely.
unless you move to the state that's like, yeah, we got shoes.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
That's
When
something. You're
yeah,
right. You're right. And this isn't for those that are just joining. Welcome. This
hello,
isn't a black or white thing, or yellow or brown
no,
or green or
no,
purple. This is, if any of y'all have been listening, some of y'all may or may not, to some of those of us in the spiritual sector, for the last couple of years at least, we've been talking about this concept of new earth. And this concept of new earth, in the Bible it talks about the rapture and blah 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 blah. Okay, I'm not talking about that now, y'all. But this concept of new earth, and I've been saying this for 2 years, that we are coming into a point where we're finding that there are people that are of a higher frequency, and we're attracted to one another, right? We're creating our own. It's like we are creating our own economy in and of itself.
yes,
Right?
yes,
Now, some of us
yes,
might go outside the economy to go earn money somewhere else, but we're
mm-hmm,
kind of in the world, but not of the world. So we're gonna bring it back over here, and then others of us are figuring out how do we create this and how do we create that.
right,
The
right,
healers, the teachers, the counselors, the coaches, the midwives, the mothers, the fathers, all of us are coming together because what they have got over there in their low vibrational bullcrap is working. And we are
mm-hmm,
tired of you and your bull crap. And anytime you feel like you want to shut it down to do whatever crazy BS you may or may not want to do, and you
mm-hmm,
want to tell us that this is the reason why, but then we come to find out a couple of years later, we find out that one of the big pharma companies had the patent on the Rona 3 years ago.
mm-hmm.
Why you have a anyway? I'm gonna leave that alone. So because I want to stay on
But
YouTube for a little while
it
longer.
tells, it is a part of the we have to watch it all.
You
And you
gotta
said that
right.
earlier about when the husband honors the fact that his woman is going to be watching his back as he does what he does. Same goes for when that happens on the other side. We're supposed to be a team. That's fine. We'll get to that. But right
Mm-hmm.
now, point being, we have forgotten about our elders. They're not getting the food, the medication they need. Money is
Absolutely.
tight, and there are so
Absolutely.
many things. And to I'm what's the word I should say? I'm trying to become an agricultural baron.
Yes.
In that
Okay.
case,
Amen for that.
what that
Mhm.
looks
Amen.
like is going from a piece of property, growing, teaching, showing. We have technology on our side, people. We have to
Absolutely.
use it to our advantage until it's taken away. We didn't create the internet, even though we did. You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? So it's like,
well,
and I'm gonna leave it right now.
well.
I'm gonna leave it right now. But the truth
Um,
still remains is that instead of just going, okay, we're gonna have this conversation. I'll see you next week. When I stop talking or I'm on my own, I'm trying to do the work,
as
and
yes.
it's a journey. But we have to, and it's okay if all you can do is XYZ. Don't compare yourself to what the other person is doing, because
Right.
as long as we come back around, that's what it's all about.
Right.
That's what it's all about.
And
And you have so many naysayers and people who go, oh, that don't make sense. It's already, they
But
gonna
it
stop
does.
you from doing blah blah blah. That's why nothing has been done.
Let me
And that's the
exactly.
scary part.
And let me tell y'all something. If you understand historically, now this is for my women folk. I'm gonna put somebody out here too. Smoke. I thank you for being here, Smoke, too, by the way, and hanging us with us women. I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
I thought,
Um, I'm putting this back up, this Proverbs 31 women, because the question was asked before, what does it look like when the patriarchy is dismantled? And I'm gonna show you the Proverbs 31 woman, and this is who we really are in a lot of ways. She was a bad bitch. Okay. Can I just
hey,
say she was a bad bitch?
hey, that you have to
Um,
be.
but my point is what if you look historically, millionaires are created in times of economic distress and downturn. If we're going to be smart about certain things,
Mm-hmm.
y'all, please start putting some money to the side. Start putting some into maybe some good solid crypto. Start putting some money off to the side over here. Just kind of put it up. Don't put it in your bank. Put the money off to the side, okay? Because when things begin to flip, that's when you are
Mm-hmm.
going to, now you can start buying some land now, that's great. But when this bubble burst, because it's going to, it cannot keep going the way it is, then you can also begin to scarf up plots and
Oh
lots of
yeah.
land. There's a business that I'm gonna get the name of it from my son, that a company that's figured out how to basically create one bedroom homes that they ship, and you like press this button and the whole thing pop up.
Yes, I know exactly what you're
Mm.
talking about. I know
Listen,
exactly what
y'all,
you're talking about.
80 cents a share
Oh my
right
gosh.
now.
Yes.
80
Mm,
cents.
Send that.
Can y'all hear me?
I hear
Send
80
you.
that.
cents a share. They're about to create the 2 and 3 bedroom homes. While as we're speaking, they're creating them as well. All you need to do is have the sewage and the internet and everything run. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't take that much, guys. You know, like I know how to do that. I'm sure Chocolate Earth would know. Like there's those of us that can tell you how you can go in and get this stuff run underground on your plot. Literally, y'all, we could have acres and acres and acres of land, and some of that land is for farming, so we can be self-sustaining. And then
Exactly.
others of that, you can,
Come
in
on.
most areas, you can dig out your own
Mm-hmm.
lake and then put
Yes.
the fish in there that you want,
Mm-hmm.
and
Talk about
maintain
it.
that ecosystem. And then we can have the whole village with all of the pop-up houses that cost pennies on the dollar. And how about you are an owner of the company, a stockholder in the company that's creating these? This is the next big wave.
Yes. Send
Y'all
the
understand
plug.
what I'm trying to tell y'all?
Hey,
Yes.
I'm with
Send
you.
This
that
And
is,
two,
plug.
yes,
this is,
yes.
and this coming from a woman. This ain't coming from no damn man. Okay, here we go. Y'all sit your
Send the
ass on
plug.
that.
Send the
Okay,
plug.
here, let's look at here. Let's look at here. Let's look at here. This is a Proverbs 30. This is what it can look like. This is the sayings of a king, King Lemuel. The sayings of King Lemuel, an inspired utterance his mother taught him. My God, today. She said, listen, my son, listen, son of my womb. Listen, my son, the answer to my prayers. Do not spend your strength on women, your vigor on those who ruin kings. Now, don't, now, y'all bad women, now,
Yeah,
not the
we
bad
know,
women,
we know.
okay? It is
We know.
not for kings to drink wine, nor for, it's not for rulers to crave beer. So, in other words, don't be a drunk. Johnny Depp should listen. Don't be a drunk. You
Oh,
need to
don't
pay
do my boy
attention, man.
like
You,
that. Don't do Johnny like that.
That Amber woman was no good.
I know. Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
Let the beer be for those who are perishing. My God, today. I'm gonna drink my wine. Forget about all that. Here we go.
We gonna make some. See, that's
We
what I'm talking about.
right. We're gonna stomp
Yeah,
them
we're gonna
grapes. I
make
got
some
grandbabies to
healthy
do that.
Sip,
wine.
sip,
Yes.
drip, drip.
Right.
Okay.
Hello. Okay.
Hello.
The wife of noble character, a wife of noble character who can find. She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. Here's the bad bitch. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She is like the merchant ships, bringing her food from afar. So she out bringing in exotic food from everywhere. Okay. She gets up while it is still night, provides food for her family and portions for her female servants. She considers a field chocolate earth and buys it.
I'm getting ready to say something real quick, and I apologize for being ghetto. Now, this is the third time that you done pulled out something or said something that's talking directly to me. I can't take it. I just can't take it. Okay? You gonna cut that out? I don't want to hear it. Get out of here. It is. I thought I was alone in the world. I thought I was alone. Go ahead. I'm so sorry. I just had to say it.
No, you're not alone.
I had to say it.
You are not alone. Okay. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her tasks.
What?
She sees that her trading is profitable, and her lamp does not go out at night. In her hand, she holds the distaff and grasps the spindle with her fingers. So she was making her own clothes.
That's what I do. I was making dresses. Oh my God, stop it. I got chills. Oh my God.
She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. When it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet. Now, anybody that knew back then, that was very fine garments. If you had scarlet garments, they were fine. She makes coverings for her bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. So that's royalty, okay? Her husband is respected at the city gate. Here his lazy ass is, where he takes his seat amongst the elders of the land.
Stop it. You're not gonna do it. I'm so sorry. I put myself on mute.
And
That's what I did.
This is the part where Smoke mentioned dismantle all men.
They need to go.
We just gotta vet them. We just gotta vet them, y'all. We gotta do them like the application process. We gotta have it.
You can sit there. I don't care. Just as long as you protect and make sure don't no critters come around here, or no marauders, or no pirates. She makes linen garments and sells them. Oh, there you go. She supplies the merchants with sashes. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed. Her husband also and praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm, Johnny Depp and Will Smith, is deceptive and beauty is fleeting. But a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Honor her for all that her hands have done. Let her works bring her praise at the city gates. Hallelujah. We're going to pass the break. The doors of the church are open.
Let me get my white gloves. I am not playing. I'm going to usher board it up. I ain't playing.
If that's the case, carry me down the aisle.
Yes. Look, I got you. I'm holding on to you. Why you jumping, girl? I got you.
Smoke, you got that organ over there. Smoke, you got the organ.
Yeah.
I got my organ. I got the drum set. I got the tambourine.
Yes,
I got the foot shackles. I got it all.
Yes.
We ain't having service this morning. Today we having church.
We have an inspirational church.
Right, exactly. That's all it is. Fellowshipping and yes. Oh my gosh.
Hallelujah.
What happened?
Anna say, I believe if you want this woman to cook, then the men need to build me a house. Hey, amen. Or you can just want to invest in these houses and pop you one up. Thank you so much for the super stick, Anna. For the super stick, I appreciate you, girl. Oh my God.
That is awesome. Someone, I can't, and I apologize. There was a lady in Anna. Is it Anna? Yeah, she Shout out to Anna. She was talking about her back in the backyard. She got a garden. Is that? I hope that's the
Yes,
correct.
she does. Yep, she has a yeah.
Yeah.
And so, to your point, that is where we have to start. We
Yep.
have to feed our souls. We have to feed our minds with information. We have to feed ourselves with good food. Everything that is here, the Creator has made it available
Absolutely.
for you to pick up and create and make.
Absolutely.
These medications that we're giving, these creams we buy, all they've done is taken what's from the earth, tweaked it, and give it back to us. When you can have the natural. If you go grow you some aloe, open it up and scrape the aloe out, girl, you rub it on your face, on your feet. Hey, let's go. And it ain't cost you nothing but some water and some time.
Well, let me tell you something too. Now, there's a lot of folks that have gone through. There's some of folks that are in here that have come through some of the courses that I have, and they're herbologists. We have medical doctors in here that have been through and that want to do things holistically. We have nurses, we have counselors, want to do things holistically in a holistic manner. When I went down to New Orleans, and we haven't done the New Orleans breakdown, y'all. I gotta tell y'all about that. But anyway, I'll tell y'all.
I saw you with your boa on.
If you remember, I'm gonna break it down a little bit on Monday tomorrow night.
Okay, let me count up my pennies.
Because I sat down with a high voodoo priestess, and she gave me.
Oh wow!
And I'll share part of that here tonight. But she looked me dead in my eyes and said, she told me, she said, you need to get into the herbology. You naturally already know what oils and herbs are going to help people with certain ailments.
That's right.
What you're doing, and then you need to be getting that out to the world. So we have a lot of natural things that aren't going to kill us, beloveds, and that can help a lot of these ailments. And also a lot of the things that we suffer from right now is because we're not from the earth.
Exactly.
A lot of the autoimmune diseases is because our gut health is terrible. Why is our gut health terrible? Because we eat processed food, high in sugar, you know what I'm saying? High in content, this, that, and the third. So we're not eating naturally. We're eating processed. Your body does not know what to do with mono, yada yada, blah blah blah, and red dye number 9. It's not something your body can process. What does your body do? But it cannot process. It puts into a fat cell so it can protect itself from it. That's if you want to know why I'm fluffy, because I keep eating. Well, I eat a little bit too much, but I suffered. Y'all had lost 15, 20 pounds before I left out of here to go to New Orleans. I gained at least 10 back.
Oh, that's just trip weight, right?
Yeah,
that's just weight. Girl, that's gonna come off. You don't worry about it. Don't worry.
I'm 53. I'm 53 years old. That weight don't come off as easy. I knew better. That was that bread pudding. Ooh, y'all.
Ooh, no, you didn't. Not the bread pudding. Oh, I love it.
Baby. 3 out of the 5 nights I had me some bread pudding with some caramel and some
ice cream with it.
It was good.
Crazy. Y'all mentioned this herbal thing going on because I have a book that's been on my shelf. I already took it down. So I'm going to tap into that book. And because, I'm knowledgeable of some herbs and, how people can utilize them. I did it with my grandfather before he passed away. Basically, I was the in-house nutrition, still is to this day. Because I have plants all over my house. I got my aloe vera outside. She blooming just fabulously. I just got to repot her to a bigger plot so she can keep growing. But
that's the gift. That's the gift. And I apologize, Linda, but I just want you to know that's a gift. The gift of you being able to take something. Everybody can't grow stuff. Now, I know my grandmother couldn't grow herself. Like that was, she was like 4 feet, whatever. But the woman could cook. But when she tried to grow stuff, it just didn't work. It would turn into something brown usually. But it is the truth. It is the truth. And the thing about it is, as we go on and hopefully as we start to connect and push, because this is the time. If at any time, this is the time, because, and just on a quick note, and I'm gonna be quiet for a minute. when I wake up every day, and I told my older sister, we talk every other day, and I told her if I can wake up and I don't hear the sirens and ain't nothing getting blowed up or turned up, that means I got time.
Yeah.
I don't know how much, but I'm at a point in my life where I'm ready to. My peace comes with helping other people. My peace comes with seeing my family safe. My peace comes from helping and protecting those who need it.
Mm-hmm.
We have gotten into this attitude of self, and it's like this. I'm not telling anybody you go make your money, do what you got to do. You got to give it to somebody. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that it has to matter now. People have
Mm-hmm.
to be held accountable. Show me what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid to share that information. And so, say for instance, I say, hey, Melinda, you know how to grow, blah, blah, blah. You you want a patch? You How much you want? Because guess what? And this is the point. Us coming together as a community and building something of that sort, there's a lot of people from other cultures that would uplift us in that. And I
Absolutely.
think we missed that because it was like when they started talking about Black women in businesses and so on and so forth. The Goldman Sachs is investing money into Black women who start nonprofits. It's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, you're still invested and you're still getting from the funds from those who are in charge. And then you take it and flip it. You turn it into your own. If you buy a plot of land, throw your aloe on it, throw a little trailer on it. That's a homestead. The government will give you money because you're taking care of yourself.
Right. And just
But
make sure
that's
you
not
don't have
taught.
too many strings attached to that money. Get out from
Exactly.
under that money as soon as
Exactly.
you
Yeah,
can.
exactly. And then I also have my healing book, a healing foods book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
read up on that. I have these books ever since I left. My, it's the since we moved from the other city that we were at. But I'm gonna tap into those books and keep reading. Of course, writing some stuff down, jotting it down. Whenever it rains outside, I put me a bucket and make sure I get that good old rainwater and heat it and let the sun heat it up so the plants won't be in shock once I water them. And
Mm-hmm.
then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it just, it's crazy how y'all talk about this herbalist stuff, because I was telling my mom, I was like, before modern medicine came about, we as a people, as well as our ancestors, they relied on the Mother Earth to
Absolutely.
heal
That's right.
everybody
Absolutely.
from
Everything you had.
Absolutely.
shamans,
Mm-hmm.
practitioners,
Absolutely.
doctors. Before all that came about, it was literally people that passed down knowledge from elders to the young
Yep.
of what needs to be done to heal
Mm-hmm.
somebody.
Exactly.
And we weren't
It's
trying to
just now
compete
we
with one
are.
another. We
Talk
weren't we,
about it.
we weren't trying to compete with one another.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, this is the renaissance of that. This is the renaissance. And y'all might not know the original shamans were all women. There were no male shamans. That did not
You.
exist.
Mm-hmm.
That it just didn't happen. So we take our rightful place spiritually, emotionally, and all of this, and agriculturally, and the healing arts and such in the community. We then take our rightful place in the community, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then we can begin to have not necessarily a matriarch, but a balance. People so often think that, oh, if we're in the patriarch, what are we trying to do? I'm trying to get into balance.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. You're
That's all
trying
I
to get a
want.
balance. But here's the issue with the balance. And to I gotta go back because I like to at least to Corey, she been thank you. Yes, you have detractors. You're always gonna have them. I don't care. Beginning of time, somebody always is a hater. Like that's just it.
Hmm.
The biggest issue is stepping out of that and not worrying about that. Because it's just like the family that they bought up They, I think, was it Alabama? These people got together and bought 19 acres of land. The people around them in I guess in that area were upset. They were upset because they purchased this property. And it's like, just like in any revolution or any change, any lift, it's gonna take some knuckles. I'm not talking about violence. I'm just saying that you have to stick to that and push. You're gonna have to push that wall down, because if we don't, we're left with what? Because to Hart's point, when it does bust, and I'm old enough to know what that looks like, when we came out of the 80s, looking at the 90s was rough. The 90s was rough. And so we came from the generation that we had to work. I had a job at 13. That was it. You want something, you better go to work. I didn't know I was poor until later on. Like, oh yeah, we broke. But it's like, now that you see, and there's so many things that are out there and the information is available, and we're still just cracking or just tipping at the iceberg. We got to stab it through. We got to break it through, and not be afraid to do that.
Yeah. And I think I said this recently. I don't remember where I said it at. It might have been here. It might have been one of the nights I was like, I'm done with mess with y'all. But I can no longer worry about whether or not you want to come along for the ride.
Right, exactly.
All I can do is keep moving. And if you decide you want to wake up and get on the train and get on the bus, cool. But I can no longer continue to try to put you on my back and swim across an ocean, when every time I take a few paddles forward, you kicking and screaming and want to go back to where you came from. I'm gonna let you sit there. When you figure out that, oh wait, they done made it over there. Look, they got. Then maybe we can talk. But at this point, there's enough information out here. If you can't figure out how to get out of that mindset, I'm gonna shine the light. That's all I can do. I can't make you come, and it's not that I feel any type of way about you. But if a drowning person is sometimes the hardest person to save, right? Because they're fighting for their life, and you're trying to get them out, and they're too busy. They can't calm down. So I'm gonna have to let you calm down for a second. I'm gonna make sure the life raft is out there and everything. I'm gonna throw you your life preserver, but baby, I can't.
Hello.
At this point, I'm not fighting. I'm not fighting anymore. I'm not trying to convince anybody to come and learn how to start their own business through my program. I'm not doing that. Like, either you want to or you don't.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and beg you for 2 hours to come to the program and invest in yourself. You're not doing it. Because that doesn't help me or you. Instead, now I have a group of people that we're all moving in the right direction. And by the way, Melinda, talk to your coach about your what you were talking about tonight, so we can put that into your situation. Okay.
Okay.
Smoke.
I'm here. I'm just listening to y'all. Just like
feedback back there. Who's got the feedback?
Is that me?
It's probably me. So I'm gonna come back, and then I'm gonna drop down and come back in.
Okay, lovey.
Okay.
Come back. Like,
can you hear me?
Yes. Is that me?
It might be you.
Do you guys hear? Is it? Hold on.
I hear it. I hear something. Like, are you hearing it when I talk?
Oh, it's Shakira.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's my fan. I'm gonna turn it off. Hold on.
Okay.
I have hot summers all by myself.
Oh, you have personal summers.
Listen.
I wanted to ask you.
Yes.
What would you say to us mothers or aunts or raisers of young men and young women, but young men, and how we can help raise raise young men to not be an active part of the patriarchy?
Love on them. Make it okay for them to be vulnerable and share their feelings. Like let them break down, but always give them encouragement because that will take them a lot farther in life, and they'll be able to have, I think, that balance of that masculine and feminine, do energy or dualities within them. Because and it's so funny because I I'm a rainbow baby. I'm the baby that came out after my mom had a miscarriage, and I'm a Gemini. So the fact that I can kind of carry both of those and hold space for those two within me, and it can work. I feel that is possible for any man, but we have to kind of just kill the stigma of men being machismo or being masculine, or boys don't do that, or boys don't play that. Just let your boys be boys. However they turn out, they will turn out to be um fantastic men. And like, not one thing will not lead them to being who they're not meant to be in the grand scheme of life. So I would just say, just keep loving them and keep the dialogue open so that they feel that they don't always have to be something they're not whenever they approach you or have conversations about things.
Lovely. Thank you.
Nope.
That's lovely. Shakira, I muted you and we still got the feedback. Now you must have muted yourself.
How about now? You have any here?
I don't know where that's coming. Is your headset losing charge, maybe?
No. Nope. It's plugged in. I got the trucker headset on. That's it.
That's so weird because I'm getting that feedback. Okay.
Well, I'll stay muted until, because I don't want it. Does it go away when I mute myself?
Yes. Let's see.
Okay, I'm gonna do it again then.
Okay. Yeah, it's not there. It's so weird. It's like in the back, like real low, and I don't know where the echo. Okay, we're not gonna be in here all night like Conscious though. Now Conscious on over there. He over there talking about transgender women hating. Do transgender women hate biological? I can't do that with y'all tonight. I'm not gonna mess with y'all on that tonight.
That sounds like a messy.
I'm gonna have to leave that one alone because I was over there the other night and I was like, nope. Some fights I can't jump in. So we're gonna finish this one off here. Because this shouldn't be a fight. I believe that yes, patriarchy. I got a couple of emails saying that, patriarchy has ended. I don't think it's fully ended. I think in some of our minds it has. But I believe that patriarchy ends when we all come into balance in our masculine and feminine, but that also means that we as women need to come into balance with our masculine energy as well. We can honor our feminine energy, but we need to be in balance in our masculine energy as well and not be ashamed of it and allow it to flow. So what we're going to do, because we've been on for 2 hours, y'all, I meant to have my tail either in the bed or be doing some other work, just like chocolate. So I'm gonna go to bed soon. I'm gonna let everyone have kind of some last words as we close out, and just know, panel, I'm gonna have another discussion this week. We're gonna talk about toxic masculine and feminine energy later on this week.
Oh, the heads will roll. Heads will roll because we know how people feel about the toxic femininity that's kind of rearing its ugly head right now in the public view. What happened last month and what's going on right now with Sir Jack Sparrow / Edward Scissorhands / Willy Wonka. So yeah, we like Willy Wonka, but still
married the succubus Black Widow. Anyway. I mean, that just seems to be going on. I mean, these women is showing their ugly head. We're going to see a lot. I told y'all when we was talking about the new moon, and I briefly talked about the full moon in Scorpio, that always brings with it great sexual scandals. So we're gonna see some things about relationships. I think we're gonna see some other sex scandals. I'm um I think we're going to see more scandals coming out of the House of the Mouse.
No. Who in the House of the Mouse? Who are you talking?
What?
Because that I know exactly what that means. The House of the Mouse.
Mm.
Am I muffled?
Let's just put it to you like this. When you lose the ability to police yourself, that means other people can finally come in and see what's been going on in your house. And there have already been numerous child stars that have come out of that house that have told certain stories. And there's already been quite a few arrests of people that have been shipping children around the country. I believe that worked for the mouse of the house. The House of the Mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I'm just saying, I just think that that's one of the places we're going to begin to see some more information come out. No, Mr. Depp was not part of that. Well, I mean, wasn't one of their, he was one of their franchises. Yes, the Pirates was a franchise of theirs, but he's not involved in any of that.
You're saying as a whole in the House of Mouse, there's some
I'm
rumblings.
saying as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying as a whole. I'm saying that whenever I see a scorpionic full moon, then this one's going to be another eclipse. So technically it's a blood moon. It's not the normal. See, the full moon in May is usually a pink moon, which is, oh, that's cute. It's flowers. It's blah, blah, blah. This one's a blood moon in Scorpio, and it's another eclipse, which means it's just an opening of further tearing, ripping of veils and things seen that were once unseen. So I would not be surprised if existing potential scandals don't bubble over and finally become full blown, or we are made privy to more secret information. This is a popcorn month basically in May. So I want y'all to sit back and watch how much ish gets put out into the public purview, and I want you to have discernment about as it's coming out and what this potentially means. And I want you to pay attention to who's been lying to who's been lying to you. Okay, now this is going to be globally, and it's also going to be personally. So just get ready, because there's probably some people that you've had some thoughts about. This is for free, y'all. Some people that you've had some thoughts about, and I'm not sure if I could trust that person, or I'm not sure about that person's motivations. Oh, trust and believe, you'll know those motivations here in May.
Heads will roll.
It won't be long. You'll know them. Okay.
I'm gonna have to raid the shelf when it comes to the popcorn. Okay.
Hannah said, then the vampire sucking all the rich blood. Listen, I'll be fine with that too. I'll be fine with that too. This is going to be a very interesting month. Okay. Do y'all want to go around the horn here, Chocolate? Do you want to give us some final thoughts before we break camp until the next time we're all together?
Oh, yes, I'd love to. First, I want to say it was great. I so enjoyed talking with you, and it's so cool to meet you guys, Smoke, Melinda, all the people in the chat. It's just nice to be in safe spaces. I'll put it that way. you don't, it's hard to find a lot in, especially on these internet streets, on these YouTube streets. It's interesting. But I do want to say again, thank you for having me up. I'll share, if that's okay, a little bit about what's happening in my life, just real
Yes,
quick.
please.
So right now, I'm gonna do this as I'm talking because that's how my brain works. So, like I stated to you before, Chocolate Earth is the name I use. It's also the name of my foundation that I created with my mother and I before she passed on. So it was really, hard, and I really was in a place where I wasn't gonna do it anymore. I felt like, okay, if she's not here, nobody else was my cheerleader. I don't know if I could do this. Well, here we are a year later, and I have actually strengthened in that time frame, and I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful to the people I've met, the creator, just the energy that's come my way. Long story short, I am trying to put my money where my mouth is. So I have Chocolate Earth Foundation is on YouTube. I'm gonna drop my link in there if that's okay. You can check
Yeah.
out my videos and see exactly what I'm talking about
Put
because
it
I
in
would
the
love
private
to.
chat. Can you put it in
Oh,
the
okay.
private chat and I can
Yeah,
post it?
sure. Yeah, I can put it in there right now.
Thank you. You guys go
But
check her
yeah,
out. Those on the replay gang, check her out. And Chocolate
I
Earth, I definitely want you to connect with me so we can have you on the podcast, and then we can
oh,
keep in
thank
touch
you.
with some
I've
people.
already emailed you. Just
Oh,
know that I've
perfect.
already
Okay,
emailed you.
awesome.
So I'm going to. You said send it to the private chat here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure I'm in the right place. Okay, is this it? Hi. Okay, so if you type in Chocolate Earth, I'm putting the whole thing in. So that's what I have to say. I think you
Mhm.
guys are awesome. I'm gonna put myself on mute. I'm gonna put my link in, and I look forward to the next time we get to powwow together. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. As soon as I get that, we're gonna put her information up so you guys can go and support her. And replay gang, please do support her as well. Smoke.
Smoke the fire. Smoke, smoke, smoke. Um, no, I mean, I guess I'm just echoing the same thing as Shakira shared. Just like, this being a safe space for us to kind of commune and shoot the breeze, throw a little shade, but also just have insightful, conversations about just topics and things that, we all are a part of and that really
Mhm.
affect our lives. So yeah, YouTube channel might be starting soon because the universe is like starting to ring my bell more consistently,
Yes.
and so I'm terrified by making that step. But stay tuned, y'all.
I don't know why. No, I do know why. I don't want to make light of that. I think when I first got ready to start mine, believe it or not, I was petrified, you know. But I didn't have nearly like the support, it was like all me, and there was no support being had until a little bit later. So all I can say is we're here for you. We can't wait. Like you're gonna start hit the ground running and have so many people that are just so behind you.
Oh, it's gonna.
It's just amazing. I'm excited, but I get it. I get it. All I
I'm
can
about.
say is be true to you.
Oh yeah, I'm about to turn 30, so like I'm about to like enter that cusp of my life. So like things, it's either sink or swim at this point. So I'm ready to swim.
So you are, my dear sir, in your Saturn return. So this is when a lot of foundational changes are made.
Mm.
And when a lot of things that get shooketh in your life get shooketh in your life.
Okay.
Okay. So that's why you're going through, if you're going through a lot of other, familial things, and it just feels like, oh, like what's going on with my friend group and all that kind of stuff. Chocolate Earth, I found your channel, so I'm putting the link in there. I just subscribed. So that's why it's that 30 is that Saturn return, 29 to 30, that's your second Saturn return. So that it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on.
But it's a lot of good. It's a lot of good where it's like my foundation is getting shaken, but it's like I'm stepping into the person I've always saw myself being. So it's happening in little moments or shifts that you're saying that are happening in my life. So I'm terrified, but I'm more excited about what that will bring. Yeah.
All good things.
Thank you.
It brings all good things. Your heart is good. Right?
Oh.
So that's what it's gonna bring, we get so afraid to step off and step out onto the water and out of the boat. But let me tell you something. I retired from corporate America a little over a year ago. February 12th of 2021 was my last day working for corporate America. And I ain't looking, there is no plan B, and I'm never going back. I wouldn't trade my life for anything. For anything. So every step and every change and everything that's going on, honey, it's all for your good. All things work together for your good. Okay? That's what you need to. All things work out for me. That needs to be your mantra. All things work for my good. That's what your mantra should be. That's what it is.
I will take that. I will take that. Thank you so much.
I love you, honey.
I love you too.
Mm-hmm. And Miss Melinda, last but not least, do you have anything you want to share with the folks? I know you have a channel. You're a mod, so you could drop your channel. So everybody, please go over to Melinda's channel as well.
Sorry, y'all.
No, you're fine, baby.
Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, I can hear you, baby. Come on.
Oh, okay. So I just want to say that, of course, it's going to get to a time to where we get into those compound, multi-generational homes, just so we can be able to establish that village again, or reestablish the village, so to speak. That way, everybody can tap into their own gifts and then act accordingly. But be sure to have healthy boundaries in the meantime while you tapping into your spiritual gifts. And then I just really enjoyed the panel as always on this channel, because we do coexist. We have those grown folk conversations, and it's not no way out the water type of situations. I just love the energy and the vibes. I enjoy the chat. So yeah, just go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I do a little bit of everything because I feel like they always say you need a niche, but I am the niche. Okay, I am the I do everything. Okay, everything I put my mind to, I go full throttle head first in it. Sometimes I'll stop because I'll be self-sabotaging myself and double overthinking it sometimes, but the job is gonna get done. Okay, so currently what's going on with my channel is that I post daily collective guidance, just so to keep the consistency going and to keep you occupied until I bring another masterpiece to you all to soak in the content. Okay, so that's what's going on with my channel. And then I have a backup channel for like the spiritual purposes, and I post as well on that channel. And of course, I'm in the Lightworker Academy with Miss Lisa, and she's my mentor. As all the smoke is, he's about to turn 30, and I'm about to turn 30 in October. And I can tell you, Smoke, there has been a lot of transformative stuff that's been happening to me within the past 2 years. But I promise you, in the end, when you see that light and when you step into that light, you're gonna be like, wow, I can't believe all this crap happened, but I am still here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So so that's just a little
Amen.
bit of thing.
Amen.
That's awesome. That's so awesome.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, I tell you what, we're gonna continue to do these now that I'm back and I've recovered from my, it took me a week to recover from a week in New Orleans. Y'all really know how to, and I didn't even get to really party. Not like I will next time I go. They better watch out. So but it took me a week to recover, but now I'm back. So I want to thank the panel, and I got to try to figure out a schedule for us to do this on a regular basis, because I really love doing this. I really, really and truly love doing this. So we'll figure out how to have these live panels a little bit more regularly. Oh, I don't know what went on with my goddamn computer. All right, well, I guess
Ooh.
that means it's time for me to get off.
Time to go.
I
You
guess
don't have to
it's
go home, but you got
but
to
you
get
got
out
to
of
Get up
get
here.
the
out
hell
of
out
here.
of here.
Good night, you all. Good night. Thank you for subscribing. Good night, you guys.
Good night,
Thank
everyone.
you.
I look forward to
Good
talking to you
night.
again. All
Good
right.
night, everyone. Thank you guys
Good
so much.
night.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk to y'all soon. Take it easy now. All right. Good night, y'all.